that is my dream scenario. Anyway, we are. Oh, woo! You're doing good. Sorry, the Norb is
That's the
agreeing.
cold open.
Oh, woo!
Oh, whoa, you're doing great.
Hello and welcome back to the Lockthwain Lobby Podcast. I am your host, Aaron, second of Lockthwain. I am joined by the living, breathing, walking equivalents of a force of will in hand with nothing to pitch. It's my partner in slime, Russ, and we are here to talk about this week in Magic.
So I'm situationally useful.
Situationally, yes.
Okay,
Not when you
I
need to
guess I'll
be, but
take
when you
that
want to be.
when I want to be, when I have 5 open mana.
Exactly. And it's not your turn. So we are here, and this is different, and we
You're
are on.
thinking of Force of Negation.
They're all the same stupid bad
You
card.
might have said Force of Negation.
Don't interrupt me. We are here, and this is different. You can see us. We are video. We are live. We are actual people, and not just voices on the internet. And that is because we are, as we said we were, opening up a new content format starting this week. Isn't that right, Russaroni?
That is correct, but please never call me that again. Uh,
Rustino's Pizza Rolls.
as some of you may know from the video that I posted about a month ago, we're going to be moving into a weekly MTG like news-esque sort of schedule where every single week it's going to be a shorter episode format. We're going to talk about whatever is going on in the world of Magic. Sometimes we might have a guest on to talk about the implications for a particular format. I know that we've talked about having Serena on for Standard, Foster on for Value Vintage. We have enough expertise in Commander to where we can probably manage that one on our own, and we have some uh, hidden guests in the work for Pauper.
We have a litany of fun people from Pauper to bring in to talk about.
Don't use that as a hint.
But let's start at the very beginning, which is, as we all know, a very good place to start, and that's what we've been up to this week. As you can tell if you pay attention to our streams, I moved. I am in a brand new space with a real functional backdrop. It is a fantastic new location, and we're hoping to use this new studio to push some more higher end content. I'm excited for that. So I moved. Russ did not move. Russ did that several months ago when he moved to Alabama.
It's been
Uh,
over a year at this point.
don't stop it. Stop.
I won't stop it.
Um, Something we've been doing sort of together in the last week, 2 weeks, month is the Howling Salt Mine Pauper tournament. Round one has been up and moving. I got my game done first, so I'll talk about it first.
And
I had a
coincidentally, I got my game done last.
Yeah. I had a really cool matchup. I'm on my super weird Turbo Spy list, which is designed around doing the spy thing either as fast as possible or not at all. The sideboard approach is very much either I'm going to make it look like I'm sideboarding things, or it's a full read Duke Juke and I take the spies out of the sideboard and beat you down over the top. I took game one. Game two was a loss, and I was up against Dredge, which is a really cool matchup. It is a literal race to the bottom of your deck, and I had a lot of fun with that. Unfortunately, the game three was just kind of getting to a point where I needed to make them have it, and they had it. Rotten Reunion with a spy on the stack, not or a giant on the stack. Sorry, not much you can do about that, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, it was a great time. Our friend Kyle from That's a Good Card is up against that same Dredge deck in the upcoming round. So good luck to Kyle. Russ, how did your round one go?
I played against Affinity, and I'm on Demir Tempo Fae. That is probably Fae's worst matchup. So
Yeah,
I lost 2-0 in about 25 minutes because I drew 14 to 16 lands across 2 games.
that's kind of brutal.
I saw 3 pieces of interaction the entire match.
That's really brutal.
But enough about that. The Common Ground Cup I also participated in a couple weeks ago. That was in Clarksville, Tennessee. Or I'm sorry, Columbia, Tennessee. And it was put on by the Common Ground podcast. And if you're into Pauper and looking for good content for that, besides our podcast, go listen to the Common Ground podcast. They have a very good insight on the format. They like to brew. It's just a great podcast. And they put on this, what's the right term for it? If it's twice a year, biannual,
Semi-annual?
semi-annual? Is biannual
Semi-annual.
every 2 years?
Yes, semi-annual.
Okay, semi-annual
We got there. We figured it
tournament.
out.
They do one during the summer and one during the winter. This was the fourth Common Ground Cup, and it was 7 rounds, and I started unbelievably electric. I was playing Demir Tempo Fey as I'm one to do. Started out 3-1 after 4 rounds. My only loss was to elves, and excuse me, it was actually the first time I've lost to elves in Pauper since I started playing again.
Favors Elves is a cool
And
matchup. That's really just can you tempo down their race? And I feel like that's a tough matchup to try and negotiate.
yeah, and the deciding factor in game three was they are playing the green Spider-Man that has web slinging, that when it enters it searches for a basic and puts it in tapped.
Mm. Hmm.
And they stuck one of those, and I drew two of my three cast downs, which cannot hit Spider-Man.
Correct.
And they just kind of ran away with the game after that. But the next round, I came back and won against Demir Terror. Won that one pretty handily. And then round five, I played against the GOAT Voyan from Huntsville. Excuse me, Huntsville, Alabama. And it was
Yeah.
a Demir Tempo Fey mirror.
Woo!
And he is unbelievably good
Yeah, he
with
is.
that
He's
mirror.
that's a name that I know. The dude is a solid player.
Yeah. He actually ended up going on to get top 16. And then round six, I lost 2-0 to Red Green Panza.
Ooh.
In game two, I kept a three-lander and ended the match with 0 lands in play and 0 creatures on the board.
Yeah, when you need lands, Ponza is a tough matchup. Of course, I have no idea what that's like, but um
Uh, After that, I dropped from the event because I had no chance of making top 16. You needed to be X2
right,
to
yeah,
be
with
locked
your
for top
X breeding.
16. I played in a side event. I took White Weenie to it.
Hmm. I've heard that
And
about you.
round one, we're not doing this, Aeryn. Round one of that side event, I played against Red Rally, and that's a really good matchup for White Weenie, if you're not familiar. And then round two, I played against Infect, and game three, I lost on their turn two when they were on the play.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that feels bad. That feels terrible.
Yeah, if I had drawn, or was it their turn? No, it might have been their turn three. But if I had drawn a second land, I could have uh, Rafine's Informant discard Prismatic Strands, and I would have been protected against green.
But you did.
But, but I didn't. I think that person then went on to lose the next round.
Good. Good.
Hmm. I think the
Good.
finals of that Winnabox was a Affinity Mirror.
Ew, I'm so tired of Affinity.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little more later, but I'm tired of Affinity. Getting away from Pauper for just a second and talking about me, because I do like to be the center of attention. We know this. Um, Having no longer access to discounted magic cards and having to pay full price for them, which discriminatory at least. I have been going back and revisiting some of my old lists that I pulled apart and have been trying to put it back together. And I recently traded for a Dracula alt art of Olivia Crimson Bride, which those of you who played Magic with me during the Olivia days know how much of a tyrant that deck was. Absolutely bracket two, but it just is so solidly built. So I decided to rebuild that with some modern cards like Scheming Silvertongue, Stensian Sanguinus, a bunch of the cool new things that I've learned since I built that 3 years ago. It is currently 2-0 in Goldfish testing, and neither time I got below 30 life.
I do think that the Dracula alternate versions from Crimson Vow are super underappreciated.
They're so they are one of those things I've always said that I will not complain about a reskin of a card because the original card is still accessible. But the Dracula as a classic gothic horror fan, the Dracula ones just they go above and beyond. They were so well done. Hunger of the Ancient one might be a chase card for me if I ever have $75 laying around that I want to spend on Exquisite Blood. They just did so well with them, and I very much like how they played out.
Yeah. I would love at some point to see something similar with Castlevania.
Hmm.
Even if it's just a lot of the same cards, like if they give us, I don't even know what it would need to be. If they just give us like Simon
Yeah.
Belmont or Richter Belmont, preferably, because I like Richter more than Simon. Alucard, just I love the Castlevania series. I'd love to see some representation of Magic the Gathering as not you mechanically unique
Yeah.
cards.
I so like my I think my big win as a horror fan, and you can kind of see in the corner here, one of the things I was able to hang up is I have tattoo art prints of a xenomorph and the Predator. I would love to see a secret layer where the original five Praetors are remade into like Vorinclex is the Predator, Sheoldred is a xenomorph, just that kind of thing would be the Hellraiser would be Elish Norn. That would be so cool. Or maybe Jin gets Haxus. Doesn't matter. The details can be ironed out when they decide to
Yeah,
never print it. But that is my dream scenario. Anyway, we are oh woo! You're doing good. Sorry, the Norb is
that's the
agreeing.
cold open.
Oh woo!
Oh, woo, you're doing great.
We've been spending too long on this segment. Russ, you did one last interesting thing this week that I'm super stoked on, is the word I should say.
Yeah, so as a lot of people know, I may or may not have a small obsession with merfolk.
Huh? What? No.
Yeah, it's crazy. The deck that let me win an RCQ that I'm obsessed with. Um, and I've been trying to make it work in Pauper. I know Aaron said we're done talking about Pauper, but we're going back to it. Uh, and the biggest issue that I was running into with it was the mana base was awful.
Yeah.
You had the typed dual landscapes, and then you basically had to rely on basics after that.
Which is
So,
fine.
so I tried a couple different things, and this particular build that I landed on, and we'll have it down in the description, started out as a bit of a meme, but it ended up being one of the most interesting decks that I've particularly brewed for Pauper.
Yeah, it's hype. I'm stoked on it.
And what it is I decided to try a Gates package as the mana base.
Yeah.
So I've got two Azorius Guild Gate. I've got four Basilisk Gate, four Citadel Gate, four Sea Gate, two Heap Gate, which is just like a filter one that can also make treasures if you needed to, and then three plains, one island. And I tested this deck against Mono Red Madness yesterday at time of recording,
Yeah.
and turn one I did a tap land. Turn two, I played Moth Dust Changeling, which for all intents and purposes is just instant speed tap a creature you control.
Which is good. Very good.
Yeah, I got stuck on two lands though, which was a bit of an issue. And it ended up not being an issue because I stuck three copies of Judge of Currents, which is a 2 mana 1/1 that says when a merfolk you control becomes tapped, you may gain
May.
one life. And so I was outracing Mono Red Madness's damage with life gain. Because every time I would tap one of the Judge of Currents for Mothda's Changeling's ability, I was gaining 3 life.
That's
And I could
stupid.
do that 4 times a turn.
That's stupid. That's
Um,
stupid. I mean, I love it. It's one of my favorite things about Pauper is this ideology that at any time an old format staple can be shifted into a viable strategy. And with Noctis coming out next year, you are super hyped. You're gonna get some fish people. Watch there not be a single merfolk.
they
There's
have
not.
already confirmed there's going to be merfolk.
It's
Good
it's
try
like
though.
walruses and sea otters, but not a single merfolk. No, that's gonna be. I'm hyped for you.
I secretly hope that it's green black so that if, or sorry, blue black, because if it is, I'm just changing every single card in Dimir Fairies over to merfolk. And I'm reusing my snuff outs, my cast downs, my Lorien reveals. I'm just reusing all of that for merfolk.
Sorry, I was having a vision of death and destruction in my future.
Yeah. But with this deck, because it's running a Gates package, I can kind of play a rainbow sideboard. I have basically access to perfect mana at any given time, so I can play red blast, I can play blue blast, I can play white cards. I could probably find space for a green card or two. Maybe some artifact destruction.
Green card.
That one that came out in Strixhaven, whose name is escaping me. Gleeful something?
Arsonist?
No. One in a green for an instant.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Anyway,
There's space for a rainbow sideboard, and it's really interesting.
sick.
But this
Oh,
deck list will be down in the description, and so will Aaron's, excuse me, Olivia deck list. We'll put both of those in the description of this
which
episode.
is a great place to segue.
Yes.
We kind of are working on developing out segments for this, and we wanted to focus on a few different points based on things that we talked to our friends and our comrades about. So the first segment is always going to be us kind of talking about what we're doing, and then this middle section segment is what I am most excited about, is our community. We have a very active, thriving Discord, which as a member of many Discords, I am very excited to say this is one of the busiest that I'm in. And we wanted to highlight some of these. And so we're going to kind of break down a few different things. We do the question of the day, also known as the Werequebin, which we want to highlight a answer or two or have a discussion about that. The Deck Tech Tuesday is going to become a staple of our content. We're going to use mine from 2 weeks ago as an example. And then moving forward, it's going to be our friends, our patrons, our Discord members that are being highlighted in this segment. So, early plug. If you are interested in having your deck evaluated, looked at, or even just showcased outside of a stream, outside of a situation in which we are going to tear it down from every single angle, join our Discord. Participate in Deck Tech Tuesday, and we'd love to take a look at it. So, with no further ado, we are going to look at my deck.
I
Uh,
was hoping for some more Adwa.
no more ado. So this deck is the darkest timeline, is what I call it. The year is 2026. Aeryn has built a mono green deck previously. The world stood still and watched as the monolith of purity fell to the asinine antics of the Stompy. Today, the population again holds their loved ones close as Aeryn reveals the next iteration of degeneracy. I built a mono red slots deck. This is where we edit in like cries of anguish and dismay, the
The
world blowing
SpongeBob
up.
my leg sound effect.
My way! Yeah.
And real quick, I will just say that there might be, whenever we do these deck techs in the future, there will be like some light commentary, but it's not going to be the deep dives that we used to do.
Yeah. Though that's going to be reserved for bonus content.
Bonus content Patreon.
Anyway, today we are returning the Darkhold to its rightful owner and bringing down a new reign of despair upon a commander table near you. I do have a flair for the theatrical, and it's a little bit of a dramatic.
What
I
you
know, right?
want?
Crazy. My writing, whatever. I have built a Scarlet Witch mono red slot machine. This is a combo deck. This is a go fast, go hard, go bird deck. The Scarlet Witch is a card from the new Marvel set, which I am ashamed to say that I am sold entirely through and through on. The mono black cards that were in it, I am Marvel Superheroes is a contender for set of the year. I said it. Don't clip it. Don't use that against me in the future. Um,
Everybody
this
clip it.
The Scarlet Witch is a 3 mana 2/4, 2/3, 3 mana 2/3 that says that spells you cast, instants and sorceries with mana value 4 or greater, cost X less to cast, where X is the Scarlet Witch's power. So the whole point of this deck is to play a whole bunch of these degenerate cards that have never seen play because they're too expensive and play them. Scarlet Witch is currently on a really nice 60% win rate. But let's get into the primer and kind of backstory of the deck, which is what we want to do with everybody. If you join our Discord, you'll see a really cool template there that we would love to see you use. As of late, I've been on a mission to break free from my normal patterns and try something new. I've been in mono black my whole life, and mono black is fun, and I have a lot of fun with Reanimator, but it stops being fun after a while. Um, I've
Aaron,
always, what?
why is there a terrain generator in this deck?
Because it's funny.
You just couldn't help yourself, could you?
It is the Korean one too.
I
Um,
should clarify that this is like the second time that I've looked at this deck list and I didn't notice the terrain generator before.
um, but she was a really cool, interesting kind of take on an existing archetype that had a really cool restriction that I loved. The strengths of the deck are, as I say, card fast, go burr, make brains say, wee. It consistently turns cards like Monstrous Rage into what are essentially rituals. 1 mana, her power goes up by 3. Suddenly, everything is half as expensive. Those 6 drops are now 1 drops in the right scenario. Things like Monstrous Rage are rituals. We love it. It's good for a chuckle or two. It is funny. It does funny things. And then my favorite phrase in all of Magic, what the fuck does that do? A lot of the cards in here are cards that a lot of people don't see or play, and I have already gotten several. I have no idea what that does. What the fuck does it do? Weaknesses, it really doesn't have many. Um, if I run out of steam and the slot machine decides to punish me with 12 lands in a row, sure. Sustainability is a problem, but it really does a good job at keeping itself in play. It doesn't run out of cards in hand very often because I have access to all the Thrill of Possibilities, Seize the Spoils, all that. So it's a really cool deck. The Linchpins, which are my favorite cards in the deck, are cards called Stratascythe, which has previously been used primarily in infect strategies. But in this, I'm exiling a mountain, and for every mountain I control, Scarlet Witch gets bigger. And then a Ring of Valkis, which is a garbage equipment from whoever knows long ago, that I put a 1/1 counter on her on my upkeep because she's red. And that's it. That's everything it does. That's the tweak. Uh Little cards like that, anytime I get to find something interesting and weird and play it in a deck, love to see it. And then the pet cards slash untouchables. The first one is a hear me out, Underworld Breach. Now I know that it's very strong, but the deck is going to be a 3 no matter like how you put it together. It just kind of does the thing too easily. So throwing in an Underworld Breach, fine, cool. I also have the Secret Layer that looks directly like she's messing with the universe, so we're cool. And then my favorite card in the deck is a card called Clash of Titans. This is 2 red, target creature fights target creature. Very straightforward. The first night that I had this built together, a player swung at me with a beefed up Yargle and Multani. I was able to play this for 2 mana and made it fight his Calaxian. And they fought and they died, and I did not. And everyone looked at me like, what is wrong with you? And that is our deck tech for this week. Next week, we are going to be featuring our good friend and competitor from the Howling Salt Mine, and somebody that's been a really helpful new member and new addition to our community, Brunk, who we are going to be featuring
Hmm.
their Xenagos God of Revels deck. So
Oh,
if you are
fun.
interested in seeing that, tune in next week. Russ, I asked you to go digging through the archives of the last couple weeks of the questions of the day and to pull one of your favorite answers. What do you got?
So I actually uh pulled from the Quibbin that you asked today,
So you're
which
lazy.
was the Quib. Shut up. It's only been 3 days this week. We record these on Wednesday. So the Quibbin was, what is a mechanic that everyone else seems to hate or undervalue that you love? Um, the the answer that really stuck out to me was mutate.
Ooh, yeah, Cam's answer.
Yeah, I love mutate. I heavily agree with Cam on
Oh,
this one.
I'm sorry, hold on. You didn't quite translate it properly. I need you
Yeah,
to.
it's 9:30 p.m., so I'm not going to yell.
Would you like me to do it? Because I have.
Yes.
It's mutate, baby!
Mutate is a mechanic that even though Ikoria missed me a little bit, it is a mechanic that is very close to my heart still
Mhm.
because it was utilized in modern Infect.
Yep.
You use Gem Razor as a way to
Yep.
remove artifacts, but also still give trample.
It's a crazy card.
Yeah.
I am really excited to see what Ikoria meets Kamigawa does with Mutate. Those are two of my favorite kind of sets, blocks, whatever of all time. That's going to be wild. We're gonna see some artifact mutation, I think. I think they're going to finally go all in on this like mech suit thing and like mutate the mech suits. Like Shorikai is gonna have a new card that's a mutate. I
Yeah.
would love to see some of that. That would be fantastic. Great answer from Cam. Mutate was an awesome mechanic. I have played against Cam's mutate deck and it is awesome. I'd love to see that for a deck tech sometime too, showed off.
I'd also like to give an honorable mention to Foster's answer for the same Quebin. He said dungeons, and I'm only drawing attention to this because I know he's specifically not talking about the initiative.
Not initiative. It has to be dungeons. Why do we let Foster stay?
Just the slow fade in of the screenshot I sent you the other day.
It has to happen. So during one of the other things I wanted to bring up is that Quebin brought up a really interesting conversation that I'm definitely invested in as a vampires player. Someone brought up eminence. And it is my firm belief that eminence is super mid, almost always.
I hate
My
eminence. It's not an interesting mechanic at
It's
all.
not interesting. And the conversation we went down, and we won't rehash the whole thing. It was very long and super convoluted. If you join the Discord, it's there. Um, but my argument was that
Shameless plug.
Edgar Markov was never the strongest or best vampire commander, just the easiest.
Yep.
And that's what Eminence did. Eminence was not a strong mechanic, it was just a brainless mechanic. It was like landfall, but worse. Uh, and Edgar Mark, we had a really interesting conversation with that. I want to, shout out Kat, Brunk, everybody who got involved with that because we had a great conversation. I love talking about that kind of thing, but I thought that that was a really cool opportunity to address those because Edgar Markov is a decade old. Edgar Markov
Yeah.
is a 10-year-old card. We are now at a point where we can look back where Edgar Markov has existed for a third of Magic's history, and we can see how cards like that have aged and changed the game. And I stand by, I don't think Edgar Markov is the best Vampires commander. And I will stand on that hill and I will die on it.
I agree with you. But let's move in to the last segment.
Yay.
We're just gonna keep moving it right along. We're trying to keep our, like I said at the beginning, we're trying to keep our episodes a little more condensed than usual, than we used to. Uh, just so that we don't have to do, so that I don't have to do a ton of editing in the
Mhm.
2 days before we release the episode.
Yep.
So our last segment, we already talked about the Howling Salt Mine Pauper tournament.
Hmm.
But I don't know why you have that on the notes twice.
Because I just wanted to run through the standings of it real quick. It's something that we're involved in and something we're going to comment a few times. So I wanted to go through a few, just kind of
Um,
the,
let's check back in a couple weeks after the second round is over.
okay, we'll cut this out then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they with The Hobbit, which is this weekend for pre-release, there is a rules change to how some mana abilities are handled. And if you're in the Howling Salt Mine Discord, you know about this already because everyone is not letting Tony forget about
Moment of
it.
silence for S tier Selvala.
So the easiest way I can explain this is any ability that makes mana is not considered a mana ability if it moves a card from the library, whether that is drawing or milling or
Yep.
exiling.
If
So
if
that includes things like Milliken, things like Selvala Explorer Returned, because those both move a card from the top of the deck to a different zone.
I
Even though they make
personally
mana, they do not any longer count as mana abilities, so they can now be responded to.
See, I personally would have taken it a little bit further if you're going to commit to that. One of the biggest gripes with like your Gravecrawler sack decks is that you can't respond to the combo once it's going because the sack is part of the cost. I would have gone as far as to say things like, yeah, your KCI loops, those are respondable. Your Viscera Seer, all of those things, not Viscera Seer, that's not a mana ability.
Phyrexian Altar,
All
Ashnod's
your
Altar.
Phyrexian Altar. If you're going to start making that distinction, if a permanent leaves the battlefield or a graveyard as part of a mana ability, it's not a mana ability. That's how far I would go with it. But I'm also the person who's running a lot of those loops, so I would get punished by it. So I think I can say that.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
and finally, I already mentioned that Hobbit pre-releases this weekend.
which we're excited
I
for.
loosely excited. I haven't noticed anything in particular that
I
I'm like super excited for out of this set.
it's one of those sets that like I am interested in playing the limited environment. I think sealed is going to be fun. Pre-release is going to be fun. As a whole, I haven't seen much that's going to impact me. The only sealed product I really want is that I want the scene box so that I can put the indestructible smog in the Olivia Crimson Bride deck and then beat the crap out of it with damage.
They are reprinting the basic islands
Yep.
or basic land cyclers from
Yep.
Lord of the Rings.
Lorien
That's a good
reveal,
reprint. Um, the
generous
One
end
Ring,
control. Yeah.
Bowmaster, those are all getting reprinted.
I would assume
Uh,
Mirkwood Bats. We have a Delighted Halfling has already been revealed.
yes.
Yep.
Which the art on that is gorgeous
Oh,
too.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
But the last thing we're going to talk about before we go into our closing segment is banned and restricted.
Yay!
So, at the time of this episode, we have a ban and restricted announcement coming up on August 10th, which is Monday. There is some speculation, we'll get into that in a minute, but before we do that, I know you would like to address some of the things that changed with the last ban and restricted announcement.
As a commander player, a standard player, and a pauper player, I kind of pay attention to a little bit of everything. I was super disappointed with the last BNR that standard didn't get hit at all. It was another one of those, well, everything's really healthy. Meanwhile, there's like three decks that are miserable to play against, and everything runs around them. But there was a
Can I
really,
read the quote really quick?
for
This is
sure.
just the first line of the announcement for Standard. Standard right now is a format where many different decks can win on any given weekend.
As long as they're playing four color control, is it Lessons or Badger Mole Cub?
Yeah, then they proceeded to talk about the narrative of the format and named exactly two decks.
Four color control.
Nope. Is it
No.
Prowess and Badger Cub?
Four color control is everywhere now because it's the only answer to is it prowess and Badger Mole Cub it on its own is not. You can't compete against it.
Oh, and then the deck list that they showed is four color control.
Yeah.
Is this just a
So
Badger Cub deck?
yeah, it's another Badger Mole Cub. They
Wait, no,
loop them together
there's
when
no
they're different.
creatures in this. This isn't a Badger Cub deck.
You're a Badger Mole Cub deck.
Anyway,
Anyway,
there's
the
three viable decks.
there's three viable decks which
Pioneer
means
is
target
irrelevant.
format. Pioneer doesn't exist. Pauper was kind of the center point of the
Yes.
conversation, which is really, really cool because we very rarely are the center point of anything. We don't really exist. There's a new,
I wouldn't go that far. Gavin and the Pauper Rules
that's
Committee are
fair.
very transparent about what changes they're making or planning to make.
There was a new card in Marvel Superheroes, which again, goated set, that whenever it tapped, it dealt one damage to something, which it
It
was
was an
called Hawkeye's
equipment
Bow. It was an
whenever the
equipment that whenever
equipped
the
creature.
equipped creature tapped, there was a card called Seeker of Skyclaim,
Skybreak.
Skybreak, Seeker of Skybreak that would go infinite with this as soon as turn two in some decks. Like it
Usually
got
turn three, because
turn
you had
two,
to
turn
play it on
three.
turn two.
It got nasty. So the big speculation was, are we pre-banning Hawkeye's Bow? Are we pre-banning? No. They went for a card that has been in the format forever and hasn't ever justified a ban, and they banned the Seeker of Skybreak, which I'm cool with. I'd like to see the new cards live, but I'm also of the opinion that I don't think the combo needed to be interrupted before it hit the environment.
So it's interesting that you say that because they put extra challenges on Magic Online to gather data
Mhm.
on what needed to happen with these, and Seeker of Skybreak won all three of them.
That's crazy. I don't pay attention to MTG Online because I was born in
Yeah.
1999, but you know,
And it's important to note that this ban list happened about 2 weeks before Pauper Genesis and Paupergeddon.
oh, and Pauper Gennett, we're not going to go too deep into that because we're going to have somebody on hopefully next week to talk about these events. But it was really interesting to me that they decided to make a major change right before two major tournaments. But I do think it was for the better. I think hitting the old card instead of the new card and letting the new card breathe is fine. Um, the most interesting thing from this BNR was Legacy.
Yeah,
Legacy,
Candelabra.
Legacy needed to see the Fantastic card get banned. Uh,
Yeah,
but
and
they
I
didn't
don't
ban
even
the
think they
Fantastic card. They banned
mentioned
the
it.
Candelabra of Thanos.
Did they even mention Fantastic? They did. They mentioned it in one sentence at the very end of the article. But no, Candelabra did need to get hit because um, with Oops All Spells getting hit in the previous BNR,
Yeah.
Tron and blue mid-range tempo decks were starting to run away with the format. It didn't really get better with Fantastic Car getting printed and them kind of not acknowledging it because Storm decks were starting to win and you were just slotting Fantastic Car into Doomsday, into mid-range decks, into Tron, into shops. It was just kind of getting
Yeah.
fit into every conceivable archetype.
I'm looking it up out of curiosity. Candelabra of Thanos got more expensive after the ban.
Did it really?
It is up to $2,200.
Wow. Um, anyway, Candelabra of Tawnos was primarily played in Tron,
Mhm.
and the way that Tron works in Legacy is I don't think okay, no, uh it does still play two full play sets of Tron lands. It only plays two mine and power plant each though.
I guess.
Because in Legacy there's a card called Planar Nexus.
Yep, you've got Nexus. Yeah.
And so the joke is that Tron in Legacy stands for Tower Rely on Nexus.
It
Because that makes 4 mana on turn two, and then you can
does,
play the
yeah.
One Ring.
It does, yeah. And then it throws it down. And then the Fantastic car feeds into a lot of that. Legacy is a format I don't typically pay attention to, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen with it,
Yeah.
with a lot of cards getting shifted around. Um, which
There
brings
are
me,
people who are far more qualified than us to talk about
oh,
Legacy.
100%. But
My
the
personal
last,
recommendation is the Eternal Glory podcast.
yeah, they're
If you
fantastic.
want, yeah, that's Brian Koval, Bryant Cook, and Phil Gallagher. I almost forgot his name. He's the GOAT. Um, they're all very well informed and very knowledgeable about Legacy. If you want to hear more about that kind of thing, go listen to them. We're not
Um,
gonna sit here and talk about a format we know nothing about.
moving forward, let's talk about the upcoming BNR, which is Monday, which I believe
Yes.
is a full BNR again already, is it not?
I don't know if it's a Commander BNR.
Let's find out.
I do, while you're doing that, I will say that in the last BNR they did make mention of Sneaky Snacker and that they have their eye on it. And they said that in the August 10th banned and restricted announcement, they will be talking more about Sneaky Snacker after having seen Paupergeddon and Pauper Genesis.
Yeah, so this is a full maintenance BNR, with the next one being in October and then one in December after that. So it's a more accelerated, which I'm here for. We're having more sets every year hit standard, so evaluating standard more often is important. So we're going to be having one August 10th and October 12th. August 10th is 5 days from time of recording. So next episode we'll be able to talk about what those bans and restricteds are. I personally want to see standard get hit hard. The tablet needs to go. I think the capstone, improvisation capstone needs to go. Badger Mole needs to go. I want to see another. If you remember back when Hopeless Nightmare got banned, it got banned alongside seven other cards. I need to see a nine card ban here. The format needs to be disrupted. There's so much wild stuff going on. It's hard to keep up with in the first place, but four color control is just getting better. The tablet of discovery is wild. Improvisation capstone is wild. These cards should not be in this format. Out of sheer curiosity, I built a Rakdos deck today for standard to play test in ranked. I didn't pay for any of the wild cards, but I already had three tablets and two capstones, so I threw them in there just to play. Every single game that I resolved one of those cards, I won.
Hmm.
Because improvisation capstone finds you the tablet for free. I mean, it's a crazy build. I threw a Scarlet Witch in there to be funny, and that made it worse. The play patterns are ridiculous. Is it Prowess needs to be hit? Badger Mole needs to be hit. I am not super thrilled. I mean, I made it all the way to Diamond in Standard for once in my life with a mono black build, and I hit that, and it was just game after game after game after game after game of four color control or is it prowess? And if you are not playing one of those two decks, you are not winning.
Yeah. And then as far as Pauper, I think if they don't ban Snacker, I
I'd like to
think
see.
that there's going to be some heavy scrutiny on the
Mhm.
card as a whole.
Yeah,
And they need to have a really good explanation for why they didn't ban it. Because looking at the statistics on MTG decks for Sneaky Snacker,
it's a
I'm just
sneak.
kind of scrolling through and I see three decks that are in blue-black that are playing it.
Everything else is. I mean, mono red loves it.
It's
Red
Mono
miss
Red Madness, Rakdos Madness, Boros
rally.
Tribe, and Naya. No, Rally doesn't play it. And Naya Gates.
My issue, so we joked about it earlier. Um, I would like to see Popper get shaken up a little bit too. Now, Shot Popper does not need a shakeup. It is a very healthy format right now. FAMS is doing cool stuff, familiars. Spy is doing interesting stuff. Black Sack just won a major tournament. There's a lot of interesting, I mean, any deck any week can
Mhm.
win. I think I'd like to see some of the interaction get pulled back. If anything, I think Snuff Out might be too strong for that format. A straight up counterspell feels a little weird sometimes, but I think the format is very healthy. I don't think Terror needs to get hit. I think besides Sneaky Snacker, Popper's really healthy right now.
Yeah. But we're getting a little carried away. We'll talk more about Pauper
Next week,
in specifically next week, hopefully. Um,
let's move to
let's
the end
wrap
step.
it up and talk about what the future holds for the Lockman Lobby podcast.
Yeah, let's move, as I like to say, move to the end step. Uh,
You already said that.
I know, but you talked over me.
Move to cleanup step.
No, I hold priority.
Move to discard.
Once I so we are, as we announced, putting together a Patreon, and I am working on figuring out the details of that right now. We have some interesting things in play. The number one thing that we wanted to bring up is that our Discord is going to continue to be public. We are not going, we're going to have a free Discord. As long as you sign in with Patreon, there's going to be a $0 here. We get to be part of the Discord. The community is the number one thing to us. And while we are here, as we said, asking for some help moving forward to progress this content where we want it to be, we are grateful for the community that we have. The people that are here are wonderful. This has already grown way bigger than we ever could have imagined. Um, and we're very thankful. So the community in the Discord is going to remain open, but there's going to be additional content that starts to roll out for the higher level patrons. A lot of our kind of slice of life stuff. Russ is an expert barbecue smoker cooker.
The Lockcoin kitchen
The
is
Lockflame
open.
Kitchen. I myself am a prolific cook, so we're going to be doing some cooking stuff in our day-to-day time. We're going to be putting up deck evaluation one-on-ones. One of the things we really like the idea of doing is scheduling a call with certain level patrons and saying, "Hey, you've got an hour and a half of my time. Let's go through your deck. What's the problem you have with it? Let's work on it." Stuff like that. So we are going to be rolling out a lot of that coming up. So keep an eye on that. I hope to have that launched by September. Speaking
And
of,
that will not be exclusive to Commander. If you
Mhm.
want a Commander deck evaluated,
Yeah.
that is primarily going to be on Aeryn. Standard is probably also going to be handled by Aaron because I don't really know anything about that
Or
format
we'll call in Serena for that.
or that. The Eternal formats will be mostly me. I know enough about Legacy, Modern, and Pauper to help build a deck. I don't think I could brew one from start to finish
Hmm.
as far as Legacy and Modern goes, but if you want help brewing Pauper, I can help you with that.
Heck yeah.
We can bring Foster in to help with Value Vintage. We kind of have a very diverse community as far as different formats go.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool. I mean, at any time we can get anybody to focus on anything. And I mean, it's sick. It's awesome.
It's like wrangling cats, so if we can get some focus in there, it's great.
So that's one of the things we want to focus on is increasing that. And then the big thing that we have coming up is on Labor Day. To celebrate a year of content creation, we are doing a charity stream, which I am going to work this week to establish the blocks. We're going to have a 2 hour to open the stream. We're going to be doing a 2 hour deck review, followed by CDH, Pauper, Commander games, and then probably finished with more deck reviews.
Do we want to announce any of the guests, or are we still waiting for that?
I was gonna. We have some tentative guests. We are waiting on some confirmation, but as of right now, Kyle and Yaw from That's a Good Card have shout out That's a Good Card have agreed that they should be able to join us for a CDH game. So Russell will address that alongside one of our community members to fill out a pod while I take a break. We're gonna
That'll be
have
Bucky.
Bucky. We love
Bucky,
Bucky.
who drew our food token, which will
The
be
burrito especial food token, which is going to be
which
part
I'll
of the
put
first.
on screen right here.
It's going to be for part of one of our first Patreon drops. One of the
Yes.
things that our Patreon's going to have is these custom tokens. Super hyped for that because we have so many cool artists that we know.
Mm.
Getting able to give them a little bit of money to do something for us, I'm so excited. Any artist that does all of that is going to continue to own the rights to their art. We're also going to give them 20 to
We also
the
have this lovely treasure token.
which is going to be put into more of a pulled from a proof of concept and put into more of a full size token here soon. Um, all of our artists are fantastic. We're going to make sure we support the community as much as we can in an era where AI is killing anything. But moving on to the charity stream, the cause for the charity stream is a personal one, an important one, as I've mentioned before. A local family to me, the Tussey family, my downstairs neighbors at my old apartment, they have been undergoing a very difficult time, a family tragedy. The father figure, Joey, has been in the hospital for several different reasons for quite a while. And as someone who went through that in April, I know what those costs look like. 100% of the money from subscriptions, anything that comes in from the GoFundMe slash whatever charity stream we use, 100% of that is going to go to them to help out with different, um, medical costs, food costs. We're just trying to help them get off the ground and continue to take care of themselves. And if you want to contribute otherwise, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to make that arrangement. But the charity stream is going to be for a local family, a local cause, and we are very excited to help them out. And I will have final information about that next episode, as we will have a month at that time before the charity stream.
Yep.
Russ, the final thing I'm seeing on my note template here is Russ does plugs.
Oh yeah, our plugs. As we mentioned, our Patreon will be on our link tree as soon as we get that running. Uh, if you direct your attention to the description, you will find said link tree, which has the link to our Discord. It has the link to our YouTube. And I'm sorry for all zero of you that listen on there. We are no longer uploading to the Spotify. We will be getting all of our backlog uploaded to YouTube. You can also find my Moxfield. You can find Aaron's Architect.
Russ's Moxfield is better than my architect. My architect is better than Russ's Moxfield.
Yep. I thought the joke was my Moxfield is better than your Moxfield, and your Architect is better than my Architect.
Something like that. I don't know, man.
No.
It's 11
Jokes are
o'clock at
dumb.
night. It's 11
Um,
o'clock at night.
you will also find the link to our Twitch stream where we do deck roasting. Sometimes we do gameplay. That will also be where the charity stream is located.
Yep, which is important.
And within the next week or so, we will be getting the GoFundMe up and probably have that on the link tree as well up until the charity stream.
I need to arrange things with her, get some information from her to make sure that we set it up properly so that there's no taxing on it, because that's an important thing to do.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, we should have hopefully have that up early. so we can contribute to everything, and that'll be part of our link treat moving forward as a running charity on top of the stream, which is going to cap everything off. And I
Uh,
think,
one more thing. Thank you all so much for being so patient with us during this hiatus.
yeah,
This has been a lot of effort to make sure that this doesn't just completely fall apart as soon
yeah.
as we came back. We hope that we didn't lose anyone's interest in the time that we were gone.
Yeah, and I'll throw in those of you who are in touch and in tune understand how bad of a living situation I had before. And so the last month or so of getting that packed up has been a very strenuous process of making sure that, we inspect electronics, we're not transmitting anything. It was a tough time. But we are here in a beautiful new space with all of this cool new display stuff. I have my Magic comic books here, my print of Aboro with Rob Alexander with my Aboro in the corner.
Mhm.
We have we're in a much better situation now, and we are both in it going to be in a situation moving forward where this can be much more viable and much more exciting. So please stick with us. The This Week in Magic format is something that I'm very excited to try out. And we thank you for being patient and sticking around with us.
Mhm.
We are very excited.
And just remember, even after a month, the best wins.
Are the ones that you steal out of nowhere. The best wins are the flavor wins, as
Hear
we
the
always.
roar.
Yeah. The best wins are the flavor wins, as we always say. It is far more important to make sure that you're having a good time and that what you're building is creative and fun than winning games. I have been your host, Aeryn, second of Lockthwain. He has been the sleeve that I just tore apart and threw in the trash can, Russ,
No,
my
you
partner in
need to
slime.
point up. I'm gonna be above you on the.
And this has been This Week in Magic. We will see you next week to get you caught up on all of the ongoings, a new BNR, and everything that we have gotten into. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of our community. Have a great rest of your week. I think my oh 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 we have an enraged Norb.
Oh no.
Someone had the gall to walk past. It's okay, buddy. Yeah. We've been spending too long on this. Cut that. We've been spending too long on
No.
this. The talents of our good friend and contributor. Scrolling down, we'll cut through this part so it looks like I had this prompted and ready. We will
No,
be
don't
hearing from
the
our
end of the
good friend.
episode for the blooper reel.
We will
That's
be
something
having
real quick. That's something I want to start doing is just like any of the things that didn't make the cut because we messed up talking or
me
something. I'm just
pulling a
gonna put
hair
them
out
at
of
the
my
end of the
mouth in the middle of a
episode.
sentence.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put them at the end of the episode.
Um, Next week we are going to be featuring. Yeah, so it was real quick. I, as a
Oh,
standard player,
mute your
Pauper play.
Discord notifications. I'm hearing those.
Mine are muted. That's a you thing. I am on streamer
Shut
mode.
up. I'm
That
interrupting you for no reason.
that was yours. I'm on streaming mode. Put it in the blooper reel. You have to look dumb too. Um,
No, I'm the one editing it.
it's just the same. It's just the that quote with you in the corner.